In this video, we're going to be talking about solving and graphing inequalities. Now, when we start working these problems, you're going to find very quickly this looks just like video number 1. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is an inequality. An inequality is going to have a greater than or less than sign. So it's going to have one of these, or sometimes greater than an equal or less than an equal sign. But it's got these inequalities in it, and sometimes it confuses us because we don't exactly know what they mean. So I'm going to teach you how to solve them and then how to graph them. The easiest way I know how to teach this to you is like this. Let's pretend that this is just an equal sign for a few minutes. Let's just rewrite it and put an equal sign in it. Well, from the last video, we know exactly how to do this. All the letters go on the left and the numbers go on the right. So let's just solve it like we did video number 1. Letters go on the left, so that means this is a plus. To move it, I have to subtract x, and whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. Now notice it's minus 3x minus 1 more x, and that's minus 4x. Now I still have a 2 there. Minus 4x equals, that's gone, minus 6. So a negative and a negative is a negative on the number line. And so now letters are on the left, numbers have to be on the right. So I've got to move this one over here, so it's a plus 2, so I have to subtract 2. Whatever I do on this side, I do on this side. That disappears. So negative 4x equals minus 6 minus 2 is minus 8. To finish solving it for x, I got to get rid of this negative 4. And so it's multiplied right now, so I'm going to divide by negative 4 so that it's gone. So x equals negative divided by negative. The negatives go away, so 8 divided by 4, the answer is 2. So how do I do this? Well, you'll notice that we pretended that this was an equal. So we got our answer, so let's just put that back in. Just take out the equal, and we've got greater than. Now, the interesting part is when you go to work this, there's one little trick, and here's the trick. So what we did was we pretended this was an equal, and we solved it. Here's the trick. If you ever divide by a negative, you just flip it over. So this is the correct answer. Let me say that one more time. You do it, you pretend like it's an equal sign, and when you get to the last step, if you end up dividing by a negative, it just flips over. Instead of opening to the left, it now opens to the right. So now we've solved the problem. So you have to get that little step. Now, how do you graph these things? Because they'll ask you questions of how to graph it. Well, pretty simply, we'll just make a number line. And we'll make 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Let's find where 2 is. There it is. And it says, okay, it's open, but there's no equal sign there. So it's this. It's an open hole. And it's everything less. X is going to be less than 2. Less than 2. Well, number 1 is less than 2. Okay. So it's all of this. There's my answer. I graphed everything to the left. Now, you've probably done these before, and sometimes you've seen where they actually fill in this circle. If it would have been that's not this sign, but this sign, with an equal, you fill in the circle. This one doesn't have that, so it stays an open circle. That's how you graph it. Let's try one more real quick. Solve it just like video number 1. Here's another one. X minus 3 is greater than or equal to minus 2. Alright, so we're going to pretend like it's just an equal sign. Solve it. Letters on the left, numbers on the right. Okay, there's the letters. They're all there. Numbers on the right means I have to add 3 to both sides. And negative 3 plus 2 is a 1. X, that's all that's left, equals 1. X equals 1. And so I'm going to put back in what should go there. Did I divide by a negative 1 or a negative anything? No. So it stays the direction it was. And I've got the answer. If I want to graph it, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2. Okay, and so I find 1, there it is, and it says equal, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in, and everything's going to be greater than, x is greater than or equal to 1. So it's all this stuff, all that stuff that way. That's how you graph an inequality. Not too difficult. Same math as we were doing in section 1, except when you get to the last step, you have this thing called an inequality, and then they ask you to graph them. Many times they'll give it to you, the question, and then they'll ask you which picture is correct. And so it's easier if you just solve it and then find the picture that matches it. And so in this case, that's exactly what we've done. Greater than or equal. Now remember, is it going to have an open hole? No, because it has that equal. And they might try to trick you and give you one with an open. Nope, it can't be that. It's got the equal sign, so it's got to be filled in. So don't let them trick you on something like that. In the next video, you'll have a couple to try on your own. Let's see how you do.